talk about the hockey shit. So far, the only guy that I have seen kind of apologize for the guys laughing with Trump on the phone, mocking the women's team is this guy, Jeremy Swayman. Lux Progressive, thank you for the raid. Hogan, thank you for the gifted.
It was an incredible honor. We all were there to represent our country, celebrate a gold medal for the United States, and that was something that we really embodied, and we're really grateful to be a part of.
Jeremy, there was some negative reaction to that and to the post-game video. Just what is your reaction to that?
Yeah, we should have reacted differently. We know that we are so excited for the women's team. We have so much respect.
We should have reacted differently. Yeah.
For the women's team, and to share that gold medal with them is something that we're forever grateful for. And
wait, you're not sharing the gold medal with the women? They're separate gold medals. Huh? They won. That's no. Nope.
Now that we're home, we get to share that together forever and see the incredible support that we have from the USA and sharing this incredible gold medal.
Why does he say it 3 times? He keeps talking about sharing. Yeah, I know he means like we're sharing in the fact that we're both Team USA and we both won. But like I said, this is the damage control. Okay, I know you guys. I know they're dumb. I know, but it doesn't stop me from pointing out the fact that this is stupid. This is not making the situation better. You have to understand that they are in major damage control right now because so many people have been pissed off about them laughing with Trump on the phone and partying with Kash Patel and then going to the White House and putting on Trump's merch and taking photos with like Caroline Leavitt. So this is a moment, like all of them are being asked. There's a lot of journalists right now who are asking both men's and women's players, hey, what about that moment in the locker room? So it's like, this is the best that they've got.
Jeremy, there was some negative reaction to that and to the post-game video. Just what is your reaction to that?
Yeah, we should have reacted differently. We know that we are so excited for the women's team. We have so much respect for the women's team.
Sigh. I mean, if that's as good as it is. Also, some of these players are part of Canadian teams and a lot of those fans despise Trump. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen American fans, I've seen Canadian fans. Everybody's pissed. Going from it's not political to standing in the aisles during the State of the Union while Trump spews his racist rhetoric. Can we also talk about the fact that they were standing? That there's not even room for them to be sitting. They didn't even get seats. They stood. They got marched in like a school recital. Yeah, and guess what? They're being used for Republican propaganda too. So, some of these guys are straight up MAGA and they're openly MAGA and they were very, very happy to be there. Some of these other guys, they believe that it's still apolitical. But guess what, buddy boys? You are being used by the Trump administration. So you're being used as a prop, and you might think that there's no political part to this, but there absolutely is. And you know that Trump is trying to deflect away from his very close friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. And we just found out that there are missing files, which this should be, one of the biggest stories in the world, but it's not because everything is just fucked. But the Justice Department had withheld Epstein files related to Trump. So like everything he is doing with this hockey team, it's not just to feed his own ego so he can put on the gold medal and make AI videos of himself beating both the Canadian and American hockey players because it's just Team Trump, but also because this is it's all propaganda for Trump and also for the Republicans. Like you're being used as a prop, you dumb fucks. Some of my Midwest leftist pals are big into hockey, but apparently they're in the minority. I had no idea hockey was so chud infested. Well, okay. Hockey players are very chud, but there are a lot of hockey fans that are not. There are a lot of hockey fans that are women. And a lot of, I have seen like 4 Stan accounts for men's hockey players jump ship. They came out and were like, I, in good conscience, cannot operate this account anymore. I am so disgusted. This is morally reprehensible. I don't know what I'm going to do with this account, but I am really heartbroken. And that also reminds me of the fact that young women, teenage girls, they're the drivers of pop culture. Like, of course, that's who is running these fan accounts. That's who drives attention on the internet for musical artists, for sports figures. Like it's girls and young women. It's always been. And of course, there's a long history of mocking the interests of teenage girls. And there's been more of a recognition now that teenage girls are the drivers in the pop culture economy. And so seeing these fan accounts be really upset by this behavior, it's like, yeah, of course. Yeah. And then I've seen a lot of people come in and advocate for the PWHL for watching, women's hockey. It's not that there aren't chuds on the women's hockey team as well, but it's like, hey, men aren't the only ones who play hockey. One of the Olympians went to high school where my family's mostly from. I don't mean the men. Yeah, so hockey is a really popular sport for a lot of people. They love watching hockey. If you grow up in the in the northern or midwestern states where it's really fucking cold, a lot of people play hockey. I grew up with a lot of people who played hockey. Being from Chicago, a lot of people I know. I mean, I watched the Blackhawks once upon a time, but it's not something where like all the fans are chuds. So this has just been really disastrous. It's been really disastrous because the current political climate is very polarized, is very aware of how all of these moments happening in the arena of sports and movies and just entertainment, all entertainment spheres. There is a lot of right now outcry over people's silence, whether it is at Berlin Film Festival or this kind of shit. The hockey players laughing with Trump literally in the locker room. The players are definitely more disproportionately chud than the fan base. Yeah. Rebel Narco, thank you for the 13 months. Let me just turn one thing off here. Here's Kelly Panic. So yeah, a lot of the players have been asked about these comments. Kelly Panic just won gold with the women's hockey team.
I think the video is what it is. You'd have to ask them. I think their feelings on it, but I think there's also elements to it with the phone call specifically. It's not surprising, to be frank, so I don't know why we expect differently. I think the video is what it is. You'd have to ask them, I think, their feelings.
Yeah, and a lot of the women have said, you know, well, like, we have good relationships with the guys, but yeah, this phone call. And I think her saying right there
On it, but I think there's also elements to it with the phone call specifically. It's not surprising.
yeah, she laughs and goes, it's not surprising. Of course that's what happened. Of course they were in the locker room laughing, because that's really that's where men reveal who they are, and they are trying to right now emphasize how much they love the women's team. Some of them have literally been like, I have friends on that team. I was like, oh wow, you're literally pulling the I have black friends, or I have women friends. So no, this, I can't be a misogynist. I can't possibly be racist. I can't possibly be a misogynist. I know women. I know women, so gotcha there. But I think what this conversation is revealing is that this is a lot of women's experience with men. And it doesn't matter. It's more than about the women's hockey team, just so we're clear. Okay. So if you have women's hockey players going, it's fine. These men are my friends. We're all just happy to win, all happy to represent the United States. Like, no. It doesn't matter. This is so much more than just about the women's hockey team and the men's hockey team. It is a larger cultural issue. Yes. And we've talked a lot about why that is. It is that deep. Exactly. Some people will try and pull the it's not that deep moment, but it is always that deep. It's always that deep. It's way more than that now that they're fully leaning into Trump's propaganda. Yeah, because the other thing is that Donald Trump represents how deeply ingrained misogyny is in our culture. From everything that he says and does, we just had that Caitlin Collins moment in the press room. You know, we have this moment. We have, of course, everything related to Epstein. Donald Trump truly is so openly racist and so openly misogynistic. And people who consort with him, people who laugh with him, take photos with him, they might try and say it's not, no, that's not political. He's just the president. But it just is not true. And what you're sending the message of is that somebody like Donald Trump, who's this openly bigoted and this hateful towards women, is cool in my book, because I'm a person who, at the end of the day, doesn't actually really have a problem with those things. So it doesn't matter that Jack Hughes or whoever the fuck has done pro LGBTQ stuff, or that they've been, that they took photos with the women's team and were talking about how excited they were. It's how your character is revealed in moments like this. We're at a point where people don't understand why people are upset if you laugh along with a pedophile. Yeah, pedo Hitler is who we're talking about. And you want to be like, no, it doesn't mean anything. People are reading into this too much.
This is a message for the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team.
Yeah,
who were
this is what I mean by, I told you I saw so many blonde women popping off like 3 minute TikToks going
on the video
viral.
giggling and pissing all over themselves in glee because Trump called them up on speakerphone in their locker room so that he could openly mock and insult the U.S. women's Olympic hockey team, who, by the way, just became world goddamn champions in their sport. All the while, our FBI director is inexplicably standing in the corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of wags who are liking posts calling out these men. I think I had I think I retweeted or something. Oh yeah, NHL wags liking posts calling out the men's team. It's not even just liking posts. They have been some of them have been resharing. There's one woman who's married to a guy on the Canadian team, I think. She posted a whole thing. Is WAG white ass girl? No, WAG is not white ass girl. WAG stands for wives and girlfriends. So that's shorthand for, in sports, the wives and girlfriends of male sports stars.
Looking like the first motherfucker to ever be given a Make-A-Wish for being terminally 5'4" and cross-eyed. How does it feel to know that you just won an Olympic gold medal, and still at the end of this year, the thing that most Americans will associate your sport with is two fictional men pounding each other's holes to smithereens in a 6-episode arc on an HBO Max show? I'm assuming it takes at least 2 full good minutes for you to disappoint every single woman you've ever slept with. It only took you like 37 seconds from getting off of the ice from your game into the locker room to disappoint the entire goddamn country, you loser bitches. There's something so emblematic to me of the way American men are allowed to think about themselves, that they won with the same exact score the women's team won with, against the same exact rival country that the women's team competed against. A full 3 fucking days after the women won their gold medal. And they were prancing around that locker room acting like they did something revolutionary that a woman could never possibly conceive of. Mind y'all, the last time that this team won an Olympic gold medal was 46 years ago in an event that became known across the country as the Miracle on Ice, which means that every single person in the United States of America collectively understood that when a man goes out and successfully accomplishes exactly precisely what is in his job description and what he set out to do, it must have involved an act of God. The women's team already rejected their invite to that fucking pedophile's house because they saw this video of y'all making fun of them and insulting their work. So enjoy your fucking sausage fest together and stop asking why the fuck you're so lonely all the time. We don't care, and it's because of your shitty personalities, as we've said a million times before. I do want to carve out one exception for whoever it was in the locker room who actually took that video and then leaked it to ProPublica. I don't think enough people understand the significance of this. We saw that video because somebody directly sent it to a staffer at ProPublica.
Yeah, I will say that's a part of this here that is very telling. And we don't know who leaked it.
That is not entry level woke. That is some advanced shit. I know damn well your parents had a
But
first
that is
edition
the juicy
print of
part.
that Love is Love, Science is Real, Water is Life sign sitting outside of their house. The rest of y'all can choke on your missing teeth. I genuinely don't care. And then next year when your sport finally becomes relevant again, but at that point you're too fat and old and untalented to actually compete in it, and you realize for the first time that you immediately squandered the one bit of goodwill you were ever going to get with the American public within mere moments of receiving it, enjoy that realization. This is a message for the U.S. men's Olympic.
Yeah, they done fucked up. they done fucked up. Not just their teeth, but also the goodwill that they earned after winning a gold medal. And I think too, the part here that really is, I mean, there's so many parts that piss me off, but women's sports is something that, as we have said, nobody cares about. And those who pretend to care the loudest about women's sports tend to be transphobes, right? That's where their caring about women's sports comes from. And it's very frustrating because women have faced so many barriers in sports. And then you add in race, you add in class, right? And just the barriers increase. And so sports are seen still as equated with masculinity, as something that like men find glory in. There are so many movies about male sports figures and moments in sports history, like Miracle on Ice, and just all of the references in media and in pop culture that reinforce this idea that sports are ultimately for and about men. And here is this moment where the women's team wins another medal, that the women overall win more medals than the male athletes for the 6th Olympics in a row. And the dismissal of it, the belittling of it is exactly part of the problem here. All of these false claims about caring about women's sports, and yet here's a moment to show how you care about women's sports. You care about the success of and accomplishments of women in sports. And this is what that moment resulted in. The misandry is oh, wow. Yeah, the misandry is crazy in here. Randomized mic. Yep. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Yep. Love to have somebody respond to this topic of men mocking the gold medal winning women's team with the pedophile in the White House and turn it into a not all men. Wow, you guys really hate men in here. I hate misogyny. And so if that's you, then yeah, I probably fucking hate your ass. And I think it's a red flag if you're hearing what I have to say here and going, well, that sounds like me. Well, that's definitely me. We got Miss Andre over here. Half of chat is men. I know. It's Twitch. Like, hello? Do you think all 2,000 plus people in here are not men? Or should I say it's not straight cis men, because that's who the Mr. Miss Andre in here is clearly in the category of. Miss Andre and Aunt Tifa. You get those two together and whew, stay out of the way. You put together Miss Andre and Aunt Tifa and shit just gets burnt down. I mean, look at this moment of.
I'll trade you that for a pen. Hey, that's cool. There we go.
You know what this is? Donald Trump believes that this medal also belongs to him because he's a man, right? Like, that's also this attitude of like, yeah, no, this is a win for me as well. I mean, he's an egomaniac piece of shit, obviously, but that's part of it. It's like Kash Patel too, celebrating with the men in the locker room, where they're like, "Yeah, this is a victory for men."
I'll trade you that for a pen. Hey, that's cool. There we go. I never thought I'd ever have this on.
I never thought I'd ever have this on. Yeah, because you're not an Olympic gold medal winning athlete. If the Miss Andre of the women's team is equal to the misogyny of the men's team, then shows a comparable example of the Trump call. Well, the other thing is like a lot of the women, a lot of the women on the hockey team, when they've been asked about this, they've been like, these guys are our friends. We all were celebrating together. We're all just proud to represent the USA. Like, it's been a lot of that. It hasn't even been women on the hockey team going, fuck these guys, fuck Donald Trump, fuck this misogyny. That's me. Like that's me. And that is the TikToker that we just watched. And that's a lot of other people who are saying that. But that's not even what the women on the hockey team are saying. Like, they've been either very coy about it, very graceful and tactful, and kind of saying, yeah, well, that's something you'll have to ask the guys about. And some of them are chuds themselves, as we have said. Some of them are chuds themselves. Okay. It's not like the women are woke just because they're women. Women are not just woke for the mere fact of being women. They should be. They should be. Matt shared this classic quote from Marilyn Fry. To say that straight men are heterosexual is only to say that they engage in sex, fucking exclusively with the other sex, i.e. women. All or almost all of that which pertains to love, most straight men reserve exclusively for other men. The people whom they admire, respect, adore, revere, honor, whom they imitate, idolize, and form profound attachments to, whom they are willing to teach and from whom they are willing to learn, and whose respect, admiration, recognition, honor, reverence, and love that they desire, those are overwhelmingly other men. In their relations with women, what passes for respect is kindness, generosity, or paternalism. What passes for honor is removal to the pedestal. From women, they want devotion, service, and sex. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole no homo, right? When men are like expressing their reverence for other men, they will also say something like no homo to remind you, hey, I don't want to have sex with these guys. They really love the validation they get from their peeps or their relations with women. Well, women, they don't view as on their same level. They don't revere, idolize, or seek to imitate women. That's not what they want from women. That's not how they believe things work here. A lot of men can only truly love another man because that's who they view as like fully realized human beings. They view women as a means to getting more status and approval from other men. Yes, when you see Andrew Tate's bullshit, he is constantly reinforcing that for men are where you form actual relationships, where that's who really matters in forming these close, honorable type of relationships with. And with women, they're just objects. They are a means to sex, to obtain sexual pleasure. They deadass see women as comparable to cars. Yeah. Yeah, it's recycled misogyny. Men that are too like the women are trained to engage in the cult of fragility the way they are trained to engage in the cult of dominance. When men are too like women, then expose that it's a cult, not biology. Yeah, it's why they make fun of men who have close relationships with women and call it gay. Like the irony in calling a man gay because he has genuine relationships with women. You know? It's Also, how fucked the patriarchy is for men, because how fucked it is to have such a limited worldview that must be so bleak. We really need a matriarchy ASAP. I mean, it is very limited. It's patriarchy is terrible for men. It's terrible for women. It's terrible for men. It's terrible for all of us. The I've Had It women were on Francesca Fiorentini's show yesterday. Talked about exactly this for a while. How men don't actually like women, and it was interesting because they don't view women as these men don't view women as human beings. They do not see women as ever capable of being on the same level as them, as existing in the same sphere that they all do. It's like they want respect from other men and they use women as a way to get that. It's like I told you when I worked in nightclubs, how men would engage in a bottle buy-off, which means you would have two tables with wealthy dudes, or not even that rich sometimes. It was just tables with a lot of men at them. And in order to show off, they would buy a bunch of bottles, but they were showing off to one another, or they would send the other table. They would buy champagne and send it to the other table to show off. They would want to have girls at their table because they wanted to show off to the other tables with men and show that they are the ones who have all the young, beautiful women at their table. But again, the purpose was always to get the respect of other men, to impress other men.
Miss, for $1, name a woman.
Name a woman?
Yeah.
This is so funny. I love this clip.
Who? No, name a woman.
The NHL men be like,
Name a woman?
Yeah. The yoga bag, name a woman.
Sorry.
No, name a woman.
Name a woman?
Yes, go.
Any?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
This is so hard.
Name a woman. Name a woman. Name a woman. No.
He just gets increasingly more agitated. Wait, this TikTok is literally this.
Who's your favorite female athlete?
Favorite female athlete would have to be Mae Batherson.
From back home, close to my hometown, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
I'd say I have a few.
Yo, he hit that French accent.
Christine Sinclair is a big one. Legend in women's soccer. Marie-Philippe Poulin.
He did not hit that French accent.
And Becca Leslie of the Ottawa team here. So those are three that are pretty big athletes in for women's sports.
Mae Batherson, 100%.
I would say Sandra Näslund, that's competing in ski cross now in the Olympics coming up now. She's from a nearby town, and I'm really looking forward to watching her hopefully bring home a second Olympic gold medal. But other than that, I would say Frida Karlsson, for example, from the cross-country skiers, and all the other wonderful ladies that has done a heck of a job during the Olympics. It's been so fun to watch. So yeah, I would say those people are the top athletes in my mind.
This is fucking frying me too. Okay, wait, where's the Jack Hughes?
Mentioned the celebration you had with Quinn. Jack mentioned the celebration you had with the women's hockey team. They've said they're not going to be able to go to the State of the Union tonight. Will you guys be going?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but yes, and yeah, we're excited to go. I mean, it's something you don't get to do. I don't know what today is, every Tuesday, but yeah, but it's gonna be special for us. But I'm glad you mentioned the women's team again. We're extremely happy for them. Obviously, a lot going on social media right now surrounding our team and their team, but in the last couple of summers we did a lot of training with them. And
yeah, why do you think there's a lot in the media right now surrounding their team and your team? What do you think it is that happened? Were you there? Because I think you were. I don't think it's this thing that happened from some third party that is affecting you and the women's team.
Got to know a lot of those girls really well.
Why is his brother look like
In their team, but in the last couple
look at his brother looking at him like this?
summers we did a lot of training with them and got to know a lot of those girls really well. Extremely happy to come.
He's like, you got this, bro? You got this. Well, here's their mother speaking on it. And honestly, I'm not surprised that this was her take. And that's why I said, look, this ain't about the Hughes mom. Like, this isn't about their mother. This isn't just about the women's hockey team. This is much bigger than that. This is about the cultural issue. So it honestly doesn't matter that his mom didn't have the woke take here.
I think at the end of the day, it's just about the country. And the moment that these players, both the men and women, can bring so much unity to a group and to a country. People that cheered on that don't watch hockey. People that have politics on one side or on the other side. And that's all both the men's team and the women's team care about. If you could see what we see from the inside and the men and women sharing, dorm rooms and halls and flex floors and the camaraderie and the synergy and the way the women cheered on the men and the way the men cheered on the women. That's what it's all about. And the other things they cannot control. They care about humanity.
Boys will be boys. They can't control it. It's not their fault.
They care about unity and they care about the country. I hope everybody just understands what we.
Yeah, so everyone needs to understand. Oh, wait, hold on. My favorite type of chatter. It ain't that deep. Don't stress over it. Thank you. I actually was misled into thinking it is deep. Because we're talking about misogyny throughout, within, all over our culture. But thank you for gracefully telling me that it ain't that deep, so I should not stress. We can rest easy. We can. I wish I had someone like that every time that I experienced misogyny or saw misogyny occurring, saw the realities of it, to remind me that it's not that deep. Hogan, thank you for the gifted to very, very deep. No, it's not. It ain't. It ain't that deep. An enlightened chatter. Yes, Twitch chat is always going to keep me humble. Is always going to remind me that I get too crazy about things and I just got to chill out. Well, dilemma solved. Time for gaming. Yeah, I don't even know why I talk about any of this stuff. Why don't I just play games and be silly and not treat things so deeply? Yeah, what am I doing here? What am I doing on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch and all these other platforms talking about shit? Don't say that. The gaming frogs want that. Now I'm going to have more people be like, it's not that deep, Kaling. It's not that deep. You should just play games. You should just play 10 hours of Red Dead Redemption right now. Hashtag apolitical. All the talk about Lisa Liu led to a tweet from Drew Pavlo simping to appear on my feed. Yeah, no, because these... Oh, wait. No, it's not that deep. Shh. Please don't get me started again. You see what this is doing to me? I should just let it go. I should just chill. What am I doing? It's not, if it's not that deep, you simply just lack the depth to understand. Whoa. Awesome feminist moment from guy who was in the room while his teammates gang raped a woman. Oh. Howden testified that he remembered Team Canada teammates McLeod, Formanton, Dube, Hart, Foote, Sam Steele, Drake Batherson, Jake Bean, Maxime Comtois, and Steenbergen being in the room at various points in the night. Is it deep yet? Has it gotten to a place that it is deep enough to make any points here? I don't know. We've covered it before. Yeah, we have covered that. Wow, Mr. Austin Show. Thank you for the 36 months. 3 years. Would you look at that?
To me, I don't like to get political or get into that kind of.
Thank you. Now, do you have a USB-C charger? Austin, there's one on the couch right above in an outlet in the wall. It's a black USB-C charger. Gay and Lebanese.
Stuff. I mean, like I said, we're proud Americans, and winning a gold medal. It's been 46 years since the men's ice hockey team has done that. So, the team that wins the Stanley Cup every year accepts the White House invitation to go. So, I just think it's something that you do, because we are proud Americans, and whatever your political beliefs may be. Hopefully something like this will, hopefully bring more unity to the country and stuff like that. But, for us, we believe it's a great honor no matter who's in office.
Perhaps phone call to you.
You know what? I don't know about you, but I feel more unified.
Elicited some negative reaction because of how you mentioned the women's team. I know you guys became very close with that team there. I'm just wondering your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. we love the women's team. We support them. The night we won the gold medal, we were hanging out in the dining hall till like 3, 4 in the morning.
So I know I'm beating a dead horse. I know I am. I know. But this distinction between how they present themselves publicly, right? We love the women's team. We support the women's team. Look at these photos we took with them. We cheered them on. We're all excited. To privately, which the locker room, that's what that was. Now, it's a video that was given to ProPublica, and that's what went viral. But you can't keep saying we love the women's team when y'all's character is revealed to actually be the opposite of that. Yeah. I literally drank beer with a woman at 2 a.m. My mom's a woman. You ever think about that? It's just locker room talk. Yeah, all this kind of stuff that perpetuates the normalization of this misogyny in our culture. Because as long as you drink a beer with a woman, as long as when you are asked in a press conference, hey, do you hate women? And you say, what? No, my mom's a woman. Huh? Then everything else is fine. I'm familiar with the concepts of a woman.
It's unfortunate that, that kind of occurred. We have nothing but love and respect for the women's team and what they were able to accomplish. And, it's amazing that, the men's and women's ice hockey teams are both bringing home gold medals for the United States of America. And I think that should be talked about more than, the other. But we're extremely proud of them and happy for them, and we support them 100%. To me,
Yeah. You know how when there are instances of progressive men who use the language of progressivism, not that that's who these guys are, but just to use another example, and they talk about feminism and man, isn't misogyny awful? Like they even go a step further than these kinds of guys, right? And then you find out, actually they've been abusing women. Oh, actually they don't treat women as human beings. And those two things, like, yeah, they coexist, but it doesn't like the pretending to be about feminism and caring about women and saying those things doesn't cancel out the way that they actually treat and view women. Like, do we get that you can't just hand wave it away? You know, it's like Justin Baldoni and still women who defend him going, but he's a male feminist. Look at these awards that he's won. He had a podcast about talking about toxic misogyny. I'm like, yeah, and then he did toxic misogyny. And then he was on set harassing women. And when they tried to do something about it, turned around and smeared them. Do you understand how that's actually much more important here? And in fact, him spouting this bullshit pro-woman, pro-feminist talk is because it gives him that reputation then. So when he commits harmful actions, he hides behind his reputation. He gets to be that, no, I'm the Mr. Care About Woman man. I have a podcast about toxic masculinity. And he was an expert at it. He is an expert at it. This was a sport-wide third-party independent investigation of USA weightlifting I helped with when I was a professional Olympic-style weightlifter back in 2018. Is it deep yet? No need to read it. It's almost 80 pages long. Summary, essay, racism, favoritism, etc. Damn. Also, congrats though on your previous Olympic accomplishments. We've got Olympians in chat, in the community. I think what your so-called feminist analysis fails to take into account is the historical observation that boys at times will be boys. And that's why we talked about this last time we talked about this is and we said it's important that we don't normalize it, that we don't go, oh, these fucking men, what can we expect? We should expect better. We should call this shit out because we deserve better. We deserve better. And there's the boys will be boys, which excuses this type of behavior because it's misogynistic in nature. Like going will be boys, they're just boys. But then there's also the boys will be boys, AKA, Chud's gonna chud. These hockey players, of course, they're saying this shit. But like, no, we should not accept it no matter what. Because I'm sick and tired of this crap. I'm exhausted by it. So saying, yeah, this is pretty typical for hockey culture. A lot of these guys are chuds. Like there are these undercurrents of racism and misogyny. Identifying that is not the same thing as going, well, what you gonna do? Well, I guess that's, it is what it is. It implies that a man can't control his own brain just because he's a man. Yeah, it's very like, well, men are just gonna men, so what can we do about it? It's like, no. No, I'm tired. I'm tired of men are gonna men. Be better. Like truly do better. Be better and do better. And stop raising kids. Stop raising boys to grow up and become these kinds of men. Stop with the boy mom shit. Stop with all of it. I feel like this is a broader problem in our society these days, with the nihilistic acceptance of cultural norms being hollow and society basically disintegrating. People just see terrible behavior and automatically try to naturalize it as normal to let them go on with their daily life. Yeah, because there is this belief that we cannot change culture, which is wrong. It's false. We have always changed culture. Culture changes. It doesn't change overnight, but it does change. And that's what we push for. And this may not change in the desirable way in my lifetime. Like, it might not get to the point of where we want it to be, we need it to be, but we have to keep pushing for those changes. And I do think that there are, I mean, I just think there are so many examples to point to. And that is proof of how our culture changes. Now, things will also regress. There will also be backlash, like in the 80s and 90s. Tons and tons of backlash. I mean, that is carried through to today with the modern conservative movement that stems from progress in the 60s. But we still have, even with that backlash, we still have a culture that has changed and not gone, reverted all the way back, despite the growing power of Christian nationalist conservative movements. Also, big thing is definitely a lot of men don't call out their male friends' bad behavior and even full-on abuse. Yes, and that's the whole, if there's a room of 10 men and, one of them makes the joke, 3 of them laugh at it, and then 6 of them say nothing. That's all 10. That's all of them. That is all contributing to this culture. That is all part of the problem. The guys who make the jokes, the guys who do the harassing, the guys who do the bad behavior, like directly, and then the guys who don't do anything about it, who don't call it out, who stay silent, who enable it. It's like the Nazi bar analogy or whatever, but for shitty dudes. Yeah. Online response and pressure got a lot of teams to refuse to sign a rapist to their team. One team still did, but the only way we stop this shit is by taking up space and making our voices heard. Yes. And we will see wins along the way. We will see losses along the way. But what we're trying to change is the overall culture. And that's the longer, ultimately harder fight. And with so many of these issues that we talk about here, whether it is the Epstein files and all the Epstein associates, or the men's hockey team laughing in the locker room with Donald Trump, that is all part of this culture that we are seeking to change. And I will say, it is always good. It is always a reminder that these changes are happening. We're just, we're on the path by seeing how many people are calling this out, how many people are expressing their anger. A lot of hockey fans who are both women, men, younger, older, there are there is a huge backlash here. Another hockey thing people love to ignore is the homophobia of the Blackhawks' most recent dynasty in hockey literally bullied a player for being sexually assaulted by someone on the staff. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's there's a lot of issues. There are a lot of individual stories that can be highlighted here that paint the homophobia, misogyny, racism issues at play, and all of that paints a picture. This story of young girl fans made me cry. My daughters returned their Team USA Heli Buick jerseys and sent letters to the Jets about how disappointed they are in Team USA reaction to women's hockey. I was kind of miffed when they asked for Team USA jerseys, but one of them plays goalie and the other plays defense, and they're both huge Jets fans. Wait, there's a Jets team that's not just football? They're Canadian. Okay. Today, they saw the video of Team USA having to invite the women's team. So they checked the return policy of the jerseys, and it was 30 days. They sent them back. They were a little over $400 each Canadian. They bought official Jets jerseys instead to add to their collection. As a hockey dad and a girl dad, I'm upset to say the least. I'm glad my kids found a way to voice their concerns that had a financial impact. I doubt the letters that they sent will do anything, but maybe it'll make the Jets think about how they celebrate Heli Buick's win. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who have been sharing their personal feelings, or, the feelings of their kids or their family members who are so disappointed and hurt by this entire thing. And I just think about, on the one hand, Eileen Gu, okay? Eileen Gu, who is an incredible role model for so many young girls, that they see her and they see this brilliant, unbelievably talented, beautiful, accomplished young woman, and they look up to her. They revere her, and then you have young girls who see these motherfuckers on the men's hockey team laughing with Donald Trump, wearing his merch at the White House. And of course, that is a terrible feeling. It's like, for the 1000th time, young girls play such an important role in our culture. And they still don't get the respect and acknowledgement they deserve for being cultural drivers and truly powering the pop culture economy. But I think in a moment like this, I keep thinking about those fan accounts. I keep thinking about how many fans of this men's hockey team, of these male players, are women and girls. And they're sick and tired of this shit. Have you seen Eileen's interview response question about? Yeah. We have a grocery store near where I live where it's run by a major MAGA anti-vax, Make America Healthy Again lover. He apparently got to hold one of the gold medals of one of the men from the Olympics. Was it RFK Jr.? Also, we just have to talk about this. Making America healthy again. Like, of course, playing the worst trash ass music. Also, those burgers and fries are cold, okay? They're cold. You do not order this much food and with enough time to, make sure that it arrives and that everybody gets seated. and that they eat the cold ass McDonald's patties. It's not good, but it also is perfect. It so perfectly encapsulates this trash administration. Soggy ass fries, cold double cheeseburgers, cold stale ass burgers to celebrate their Olympic gold with their pedo king. It's what they deserve. 232 comments. I bet that they're all agreeing with me. I bet all hundreds of these comments are like, so true, Queen. Did you see the video of them making a Miami strip club sing Anthem with them? Yes. And it's like, this is also just so goddamn rich. It's just so, of course they go to a strip club for team bonding and celebration of winning gold after they've just mocked the women's team and make the strippers sing with them. Leave those women alone. I do like, though, that the two women who I see in this video are not mouthing the words. One of them is like this. She is not singing along. Yeah. This is, I mean, these men. Oh, these men singing the national anthem at a strip club. They better have tipped those strippers really well, and I'm sure they didn't. Shoulder to shoulder in a strip club sounds so unpleasant. Yeah, it seems not fun. Yeah, you know they didn't. You know they did not tip well. Stanley Tucci treats the U.S. women's hockey team to one of his favorite restaurants in Milan. We bought you a jersey because you want to play forward. Like, having a beautiful meal with Stanley Tucci in Italy. Stanley Tucci in his classic turtleneck. The Tooch. Nah, I'd rather go hang out with the men at the strip club singing the national anthem. Sounds like my kind of night. I can't get over Flava Flav. Now, Flava Flav has been problematic in the past. Since he's gotten sober, he has tried to take accountability, but he has invited all the female Olympic and Paralympic medalists to come to Las Vegas to celebrate with the women's hockey team and his USA bobsled and skeleton team.
Hey, yo, Hillary Knight and the women's hockey team. I know y'all got my invite to come to Vegas. I want to go bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? Word up. Guess what I'm going to do? I want to bring all United States female Olympians and Paralympians.
He's done a lot of work. He has done a lot of work. He got sober. He, expressed really wanting to put in the work, take accountability, be better.
Ones that won medals. Also, all my USA bobsled and skeleton athletes. You know what I'm saying? I'm your official sponsor and hype man. Just remember that. All right? And I got you guys covered. All right? We're going to throw a big party. You know what I'm saying? One night. And all Olympians are invited to come to this party. All right? I mean, we got to build up everybody. And that's what this is all about.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? So
this whole thing is just incredible. Incredible. In comes Flava Flav responding to the locker room moment and going, I got you. I'm going to throw the sickest party in Vegas. Let's go, ladies. Let's go, bobsledders. Let's go, Paralympians.
Oh, I want to see everybody bring your body to the party. All right? Flavor Flav in full effect. Let's get down. All right? Support women's sports. It's all about women's sports, baby.
Flavor Flav. Let's get down. Let's support women's sports. It's all about the Flav. Trodehound, thank you for the 7 months. Who else did I miss here? Flavor Flav, this is for the ladies. Bring your body to the party. Yeah, he does stand on business when it comes to women's sports. He's very supportive. But will there be strippers singing the national anthem? Not even strippers singing the national anthem. Like being forced to hear the national anthem being sung by a bunch of sweaty, stupid men.